It's the Pat and Jared show. I don't know. I like being that excited to see you. I am that excited to see you. It's not like it. That's natural. But how you doing, Pat? It's been a
Um,
while. It's been a few weeks since we've recorded. Kind of feels
Years.
like 2020 when we didn't see each other at all.
I
I don't want to go back to those times.
Let's
Which
not do that, dude.
which is a great segue into what we're talking about today. It
Uh
looks like the world is opening again. There's
oh.
restaurants are open.
To aliens?
You can
Okay,
go
gotcha. Right.
indoors and
Mm-hmm.
eat. You can go to sporting events.
Mm.
You can have sex without a mask. I think I don't know if CDC said that yet, actually,
I don't
but
know if they were specific about that. Still sex with masks.
but there's a lot of things that are going back to normal, which makes
Mm-hmm.
me think I'm a pro-vaccine. I'm half vaccinated. I'm getting the other half on Sunday. I'm excited.
He's half
I
vax.
I don't think I'm a genius in science or anything, and I don't think I understand a lot of what's going on. But from my general understanding, the best way to get rid of this thing is for everyone to get vaccinated and eliminate it. From my understanding, if that's not the case, which I'm a little bit worried of what seems like is going to happen,
Hmm.
a lot of people won't get the vaccine, and then there's going to be mutations, and mutations will continue and continue. Some of those mutations might not be as fatal, some might not be as contagious, but you have the possibility of getting a mutation that's worse, more fatal, more contagious. Then
Mhm.
all the people who have vaccines doesn't even matter anymore. They become pointless, and we're kind of back to square one. So brings me, or what my main thought is to these vaccines. As I said, am half vaccinated. I will admit, I've been before I admit. Then actually, I want to pat myself on the shoulder. I
No,
feel
I'm
like,
right.
oh, pat on the shoulder.
Pap,
I
pap.
I feel like I followed a lot of the rules during this pandemic. I didn't eat out once.
Yep.
I
Hmm.
saw more than one person at a time a few times, but most of the year I saw one person at a time, if
Hmm.
if that at all. I kind of haven't seen a lot of people this whole year. I haven't
Yeah.
done too much for fun. I went on one road trip in August where
Yeah.
I stayed in hotels that I said I wouldn't do and whatnot. But aside from that, didn't fly. Feel like I was generally acting very safe. Now that things are opening again, I
Yeah.
find myself, I'm still not really going to events or anything.
Yeah.
Partially because of the pandemic, partially because I don't want to, and now I
Yeah.
realize you can just say no. But
Yep.
um, but part of me thinks like when I go to events or when I see people at the park, I will admit, this is what I was gonna say. I haven't been wearing my mask every time because I'm half vaccinated, and also because I'm by myself. Whatever. What I find myself seeing though is that I feel like I was just at the park, saw a bunch of people not wearing masks. I feel like half the people who aren't wearing masks are vaccinated, and
Mm-hmm.
other people who aren't wearing masks are anti-mask, which
Mm-hmm.
therefore is also anti-vaccination. Now, how are we gonna? How do you do things comfortably with that environment? I don't want to tell people I don't want to see them if they don't have a vaccine, but I also would prefer to feel safe and comfortable, like to not have to go through all this again.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's no easy answer to that. I think as with during the pandemic, it's a balance of repping what you're for, trying to advertise as best you can, not necessarily verbally, but so I've got my mask on a lanyard, this little librarian lanyard
I like
that's
that.
that Stevie bought
That's
for
so
us
cute.
early on. I mean, it's great. You don't have to do the whole like mask hanging off your ear thing as far as easy access and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a cool benefit to it during this phase is that I get to follow. I'm fully vaccinated now, and I get to follow the CDC's guidelines when I'm walking around outside. Say when I'm walking Brownie, and I hang it around my neck, and it's cool because I get to be comfortable and following all the guidelines, but have my mask ready for if I go inside or if I'm stopped by somebody I know and I end up engaging with them more than a couple of seconds. I can throw my mask on if I want, if I don't feel like I'm far enough away. And even without those instances of needing it, I'm advertising. I'm pro mask. I still think it's needed to have it on me, you know, and I don't even have to say a word, you know. And they don't even need to know my vaccinated situation. I think that's something that a lot of people who are thinking about that, like yourself, who are mindful, maybe you can do something like that, you know, as far as just kind of a subtle hint. I do notice that, especially even if you're anti-vax or you're anti-mask, mask, I think there's like little things. People are paying attention. They are processing. People naturally, as humans, they like to kind of follow the herd, you know, a lot, for better or for worse. So, you know, in your everyday life, there are little subtle things like that you can do. Beyond that, sometimes you got to have like the tough conversations. I don't want to, you know, it's like,
are you, if you go to a store, or you go to, not a store, you go to a friend's house,
yeah,
and there's 5 people there,
yeah,
are you asking that they're all vaccinated?
yeah. So if I'm going someplace, I've already, just recently, yesterday, I had this conversation with someone who invited me over for a weekend party in the future. And I just asked, hey, what's the deal with everybody that's going to be there? You know what the guest list is? And they admitted to me, like, I'll be honest with you, man, 50-50. 50-50 vaccinated, 50-50 not. We're living wild. It's that's just us, you know. And I said to him, hey, that's cool. You know, I mean, you know, deep down, that makes me really uncomfortable because it's probably indicative of a lot of things that are going on right now. But I wasn't trying to look for a fight. I just told them we're gonna stay back.
All right, now though, I like that. I'm gonna push this even further because we don't have too much time. I want to see how far. What if your work doesn't require it? I know,
a vaccination?
Yeah, so this is all hypothetical. Your work, I'm sure, aligns with your morals and values. But let's say your work said June 1st, everyone's coming back to the office, and they did not make vaccinations a requirement. What do you do? It's a tough situation, right? Like, you got people's money on the line, people's livelihood on the line, people's like family on the line, but it's also this is a health matter, so other people want to feel healthy and safe.
It's tough to be hypothetical, right? Because a lot of the people that are having these situations, the answer I'm about to give, as far as me personally, they might not necessarily feel like they're in a position to have this conversation. But me personally, I would sit down with my boss and the person making the rules, HR department, if it's like, you know, a pretty standard company. If it's a smaller business and they don't have it, then I'm sitting down with my direct superior and I'm going to say, hey, listen, you need to be taking aggressive mitigation seriously. I think that, you know, you can't tell people necessarily what to put in your body, but as a private company, you know, you have mastery over your environment. And I think for everyone's health and safety, we all need to be required to be vaccinated to come back in person. And anybody that's not vaccinated, you know, they should be able to retain their job, but you should find a way for them to safely do their job and not endanger the rest of us.
All right, now, I like that. That was a great response. I agree with that. If that's not an option, like the decision has already been made, everyone needs to come back to the office and vaccines. Like, for example, if you're in Florida, Florida is trying to make it so the vaccine passports are illegal to require. So, like, in a place like Florida, I'm pretty sure companies aren't going to be able to require vaccines. Do you move? Do you not work at the place you're working anymore?
Me personally, being fully vaccinated, I would just double mask it and go in.
You would double mask it and go in.
Yeah. I'd double mask it and go in. I mean, if it was like a choice between my job, and the decision's already made, and I'm not in an environment where feedback is welcomed or even a part of the process, and I have no recourse, I'm going to double mask it and go in.
I like that, and I agree. I guess that's where I don't understand, and I don't think anyone understands, which makes this all a lot harder. I don't know what exact implications that would bring, because, like, I agree with you, and, like, I feel like a lot of people have said, I got the vaccine, so I don't care about anything else anymore because I'm safe. But in from what I know, I don't know much, but from what I know, that's gonna save you in the short term, but not necessarily in the long term. Like, because then variants can happen. Not you personally, but like if everyone, you'd think everyone could just do that. Say, hey, people without vaccines don't get vaccines. I have a vaccine, so I'm good. But I think that continuing for too long eventually turns into another issue. But I don't know.
I mean, let's put it this way. Let's be frank, Jared. It is. All right. Like everybody's body is sacred. That's why, that's not to make it political, but like I'm pro-choice for a reason, because I literally believe that a person should have control over their body.
And I like that you brought that up, because someone brought that up a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, boom. There's always so many arguments that you're like, damn, they do have a point there.
Yeah.
Because it's like people who are against pro-choice are now pro-choice for vaccines, and you're like,
yeah,
we're on opposite sides of the same side now.
You see, you can't pick and choose, dude. You gotta pick what side of the fence you're on, and that's where kind of like sometimes being philosophical about it. You got to remember, you know, how you feel about other things. It applies here, and so I have to admit, even though it kind of sucks, you know, I do believe that at the same time there are consequences for your choices, and there's going to be consequences for your choices, and they're going to affect all of us. So at some point, we got to give people time, the vaccine hesitant, because there are some communities where I absolutely empathize with their hesitancy. Absolutely. There are other people that I think are just being obstinate to be obstinate. But there are certain communities that I totally freaking get why they don't trust it yet. And it's going to take some time for us to hear them out.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, we as a society are going to have to be like, y'all, like, I'm not talking about your jobs or your livelihood, but like y'all aren't going to be able to do some of the fun things that you want to do if you're not vaccinated.
Exactly.
You cannot endanger us just because you want to have fun.
Which leads me to actually one of my last points. Part of why I wish you could actually like track who's vaccinated and not is I have suspicion that a lot of these anti-vaxxers, especially the celebrities, they're vaccinated. They're just not, they're not telling anyone. But
oh, sure.
Tucker Carlson is talking, bashing vaccines, this and that. Dude's vaccinated.
Oh, yeah. You think he's going into the studio around a bunch of people?
Right now unless you're vaccinated. Donald Trump,
no.
He's vaccinated.
He's vaccinated right now.
All these people who are against the vaccine, if you're powerful enough or you have enough responsibility or you see enough people, you're getting vaccinated anyway, which is
totally.
That's why I wish there was some type of like database to look it up. And obviously that's like totalitarian and we would never have that, but
a HIPAA violation. Yeah.
I want to know who's vaccinated because I don't think a lot of these people are telling the truth. Plus there's I have a friend, actually. It's not even just on the news. I have a friend who has vaccine cards for sale because he doesn't want to get the vaccine, but he wants to go places that are requiring it. He's selling them right now, and it's like, I want to know. I want to be able to go into the national database and know who actually has it because that shit sucks.
Tell him to stop doing that, bro. That sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people I wish I could tell what to do right now, but I can't. Like,
I mean, yeah, not like you, Jeremy Martin, are going to stop people from doing it. I mean, if there's a demand, this is a capitalist society. There's a demand for fraud. You know, people are gonna supply it.
Yeah, and everyone's doing something wrong. That's the thing. Like, if you focus hard on anyone, we're all doing something that's messed up.
Sure.
That to me is obvious, blatant one. But like, I'm sure I'm doing something else that someone else thinks is like not acceptable.
Absolutely. Yeah. But in this instance, get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Get vaccinated. Stop. Don't spend your money. It's free. Get vaccinated. Don't spend your money to get out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And
that's stupid. That's stupid. I'll be honest with you. It's freaking dumb.
Sense. But Pat, I think that about wraps up our time for the Pat and Jared show. I had a blast. I'm having more and more fun every time. I think we're both getting a little more comfortable. Shoot me. Hey! That's the shimmy shot. All right, so we're going to OnlyFans next week. We will be charging for subscribers. This is going to be X-rated content moving forward, 18 and over. So please subscribe, like, comment. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, but I'm glad you guys listened. Hopefully you guys get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, you can't be a guest on our virtual show because we want to make a statement. So thank you.
You're going to spread it through the computer.
Yeah, there's a lot of viruses in the computer.
A lot of viruses, man.
That Bill Gates is trying to collect.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what's it called? Love you, Pat. Great episode. Great talking to you. Can't wait to talk to you next week. Peace.